Assalamualaikum and good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Have taken your lunch? Have you taken your lunch?
Already,
Not
sir.
yet, sir.
Yes, Doctor. Yes, sir.
Okay. As usual, to all the Muslim, we begin by reciting the Al-Fatiha and Salawat. Ya, siapa tu? Empat. Satu kuis 10 markah. Ada 4. Dia punya slide saya ingat ada 10 kot. Okay. Saya dah bagi tadi dalam online portal. Nanti saya openkan. Boleh tengok kuis 1 coverage macam mana kan. Dia beritahu nanti. Tapi masa kuis tu mungkin 1 hari atau 2 hari lah. Maksudnya hari Ahad dan hari Rabu. Bila ada gap je kan. 1 hari tu 2 kuis. Kan? So lepas habis time tu, dia rasa rehat sekejap. Then next quiz pula. Okay. Then the next class Wednesday, 2 lagi Nak buat 4 pun boleh tapi takut you all penat kan ataupun mental fatigue ataupun stress Walaupun quiz tu hanya 10 minutes kan per quiz. 10 to 15 minutes lah per quiz Tapi mungkin 50. Seolah 50. Tapi 50 tu dalam masa tak sampai dalam masa 10 minit lah. Jadi satu soalan tu mungkin 10 saat, 20 saat je tu lah kan. Okay, sebab soalan dia senang je. Soalan dia bukan senang. Soalannya yes no kan. Jadi tak payah fikir banyak lah kan. Cuma kena faham lah kan. Okay. Kalau fikir banyak, kalau bagi masa panjang kan, you buka buku kan, you buka slide kan. Tu apa cerita lah. Bukan quiz lah kan. Betul tak Natasha? Natasha betul tak? Kalau bagi sejam atau kurang, semua skor lah kan. Okay. uh, Yining, Chang Yining. You got booster already, eh? Miss Chang Yining.
Yes.
You taking Pfizer or Sinovac?
Pfizer.
Pfizer, I thought you need to wait for 6 months, right?
Oh, no. Sinovac.
Are you sure?
Pfizer, booster is Pfizer.
You take Sinovac, eh?
Yes.
Sinovac 3 months only, eh? Then you need to have booster. For Pfizer, 6 months.
Yes.
Then booster. So I thought you all later than me, right? But for Sinovac, it's okay lah because 3 months. For Pfizer, saya punya next booster is February. Saya ambil bulan 8. You all lagi lewat kan? Bulan 9, bulan 10 kan? So lagi lewat katanya. Sebab tu saya tanya Sinovac atau booster. Sinovac atau Pfizer. But the Omicron is already coming up, eh? Omicron cases in Malaysia dah 400 ni. Kan? 400 ke 40 ke 60. Okay. Banyak lah, in overseas pun dah banyak. In US, in Europe, US dah puluhan ribu dah. So be careful lah, eh. Hopefully there will no more lockdown, eh. Because lockdown affect many people, eh. Especially the business people lah, and the working people. Alright. We start our class. We continue with our class. So I will open the access to the slide, today. I think today. Okay. So you can start going through the slide lah. There are eight slides. One document, Word document, and the other one is a PDF. So all those things, all those material I posted online, that is all about that you need to read. Okay. Tak banyak lah. Start reading. Macam chapter this one, IMO is the same. Some chapter are the same, some chapter are not the same. Meaning that I teach you in the class is as extension of the previous slide. But some are the same because already completed the detail of the slide, right? So don't worry. Your quizzes all come from the slide that I given to you. Kalau saya tak bagi tu tak masuk lah. So in the class slide before this, banyakkan extension 1 tu, detail 1 tu maksudnya saya tak masuk dalam quiz lah. So don't worry about that. Whatever I give you, that's one you read. Okay. Alright, we continue with the structure of IMO. We've gone through about the three structure of IMO. There is assembly, council members, and also the third one is we have covered 2, but now we go for number 3, the 5 committee, right? The 5 committee consists of maritime safety committee, a legal committee, technical committee, technical cooperation committee, marine environment protection committee, and also a facilitation committee. So the 5, right? Marine Safety Committee, MSC, they call it MSC. Why the short form is important for you to identify, because later on they just use the short form MSC subcommittee apa kan, right? So the MSC is the highest technical body of the organizations. Why? Because as you look back again, in the previous slide, mentioned that the motto of IMO is safety, security, right? Safety of the environment and safety of the life of the sea. So that's the motto, safety. So MSC is the highest technical body of the organization because it involves safety, maritime safety, safety of life, safety of ships, safety of cargo, right? It consists of all member states because the committee is very important. So all member states of IMO is the member of MSC, right? The function of the MSC are to consider any matters that within the scope of the organization concerned with aids to navigation. So MSC, safety and maritime, is involving navigation. Aids to navigation is equipment ataupun teknologi ataupun sistem, any aids yang menyumbang kepada navigation, safety and safe navigation. Then constructions and equipment of vessels, right? Anything about the safety of the constructions and equipment of vessels, whereby you will learn before in tanker, right? The material they required to make a tanker, right? Double hull tanker, so the one inside the tank that inside the ship, the hull should be what material, and they should know the material relate to sort of what sort of chemical ataupun liquid that you're carrying. If chemical, what sort of chemical, so they need to know all those things because it related to the material of construction, material of building the ships, and also involve the type of design the ship, and also the equipment that handling the material, equipment that dealing with the material that they carried, the cargo that they carried. So the equipment of the vessels. Then manning of safety standpoint, manning of safety standpoint is about how you manage atau you manning the ships and navigation in terms of to ensure safety, right? Rules for the prevention of collisions, rules. You just imagine if you think again, it's ridiculous. A ship can collide in the open sea. Collide, belaga kan, ataupun accident with other ships. The sea is very open, very big. How come they have collision? Sometimes you think it's crazy, it's ridiculous. Same also about air transport. The air is very big and vast, but it happens. Aircraft collide each other, and it happens. What ships collision with each other. Although we all the navigation equipment high tech one, but the thing exists. Itu yang dikatakan in Malay malang tak berbau. You cannot anticipate unfortunate things. Sometimes it happen. Although you have many technologies to protect you for all these things, it still happen. Right? For example, with the high tech of weather forecast, right? Meteorological equipment and system and techniques and forecasting of weather, but it still happen that suddenly when you are sailing on the sea, suddenly the weather changes quickly, and that one you cannot help because you are not the controlling power of the weather, right? The weather controlled by God. Although we have many techniques and equipment to forecast correctly the weather, but it sometimes happen that out of nowhere the weather changes abruptly. Because you must remember, weather is about the movement of clouds, the movement of clouds, and also the movement of pressure on the surface of the earth. So suddenly the pressure changes, you don't know, right? Like what happened in KL and Pahang and the flooding incidents or the flooding catastrophe. They have predicted, but they don't expect that the impact is great. So things happen. With all high tech technology, but things still happen. With all the high tech technology and sonar and radar, the ship still collide. The ship still hit coral reef, right? The ship still stranded at coral reef. right? Ship still sink due to weather, right? Still container fall out from the ships. This thing happen, although with the MSC committee punya requirements, but things still happen, and the happenings of the events is not happen just like that without any reason. There's a reason. That's why this committee keep on upgrading their suggestion based on the experience that they have gone through, right? Understand? That's why it's important to develop a more effective and efficient suggestions on safety, because from experience they learn. That's why learning from experience is the most precious thing that you have had, right? So that you avoid doing the same mistake again. That's why they keep on improving the system, the measures of safety, right? Safety of handling of dangerous cargoes. Okay, although the safety precaution and measurement is already laid down clearly, but things happen. Dangerous cargo explodes, got fire, right? Because sometimes it's due to human error, human mistakes, but sometimes due to new findings. That's why whenever accident happen, they must investigate clearly, right? So that they can make suggestions, improvement suggestions to the whole safety requirements with dealing with the matter. Same also with aircraft. Aircraft pun sama. Kalau ada crash, ada apa, mesti dia akan check detail, investigate detail. What is the reason the aircraft explode or crash, right? There must be reason. Memang is fate. That one is, no doubt, is fate. But fate doesn't happen without any reason. There must be a reason. In this case, the reason is technical lah. What is the reason? Is it technical? Is it human error? They want to find out. That's why they need to investigate. When they find out the reason why, then they suggest a new measurement, a new add-up measurement to the safety. That's why nowadays, for you, if you use the aircraft or use the ship, new ship lah, new aircraft, the level of safety is maximum, nearly 100%, 99.99%. But you cannot go 100% because you cannot guarantee, right? It's because it's about when dealing with fate, you cannot guarantee 100%. You can guarantee until 99.99%. But due to 0.01% mistake, to a default or error, everybody dies. The aircraft crash, the ship sink, right? Understand? So it's very important to keep on learning and keep on improving. Maritime safety procedures and requirements, hydrographic information. Hydrographic information is information of the sea, the surface of the sea. The surface of the sea, not the surface of the water. The sea punya depth, everything that the under the sea they also have a surface that need to be charted by an hydrographic ship that will charted the bottom of the sea, right? How is it? How deep is it? How is the topography of the sea bottom, right? Seabed, how is the topography? Then the ship will know can they use the route or not based on their weight and the depth of the route, and does then the route have any obstacles beneath them. So we need that beneath the sea is over the sea it seems to be normal. It seems to be equal, same, but actually down beneath the sea, on the bed of the sea, you can it's different. There's like the earth surface. You can see there's the topography is not all flat. It can be sometimes there's a hill, there's a slope, there's a mountain, there's and many same like also the topography on the surface of the earth is the same. For the seabed, it's not all flat. It's all not equal. There are difference. based on their locations and their the topography of the earth at the place. It will reflect that, especially when you're traveling in the ship on Philippines and Indonesia. There's many mountains of volcanic mountains under the sea, volcanic mountain under the sea, right? They have it. So between the mountain, there's a very deep ravine, ataupun apa nama, lurah, yang dalam antara bukit. Kalau nampak dalam, if you see in between mountain and mountains, dia punya ravine tu very deep inside, right? In the sea, so they have. Right. The deepest part of the sea is in Philippines. In the volcanic punya ravine under the sea. It's very deep, right? So these are the function of hydrographic information. Try to plotting the surface of the sea so that they can know and they can predict the routes. And the routes capable of handling the weight of the ship. For example, like the ship, the biggest tanker ship in the world, they need to plan properly the route because it's very heavy, right? They don't want the ship to hit the seabed. So plotting of hydrographic information is important. Logbooks also important for navigational record, logbooks and navigational records. That's why all crew, all captain must fulfill the logbook every time, every 1 hour and every half an hour they must fulfill with the log, so that when anything happen, they know what is the situation before things happen. What are you doing before things happens? Especially when they want to know that's the accidents due to negligence or due to faulty of the crew. That's why crew always must log in. Log in buku log. You must log in every hour. What do you do? Right. So if anything happen, they can trace back. At this moment, at this time, the collision happened. So what happened? What does the crew did during before the collisions? But they can predict that, they can know. Okay. So that's why the recording of log of informations on activities is important. That's why when you do your practicum, you need to always fill the logbook. For practicum, it should be that logbook should be updated every hour because your job changes every hour, right? This hour 8 to 9, what do you do? What the boss asks you to do? 9 to 10, what do you do? Is the same work or different work? So when the whole day finish, your supervisor will look at the logbook. They will, it's normal. You are functioning normal. What not normal is that you one task you do keep doing the same thing the whole day, and they will ask why you do the same thing for the whole day. You must be able to explain, right? So that's why logbook is important. This one is usually they do manually lah, but some are doing have it electronically, by sending the data to the center so that your bosses or your captain can look and observe, right? At the same time, real time observation. All right. Navigation records is important. It's about speed. It's about bunkering. It's about giving orders on whatever. It's about the route itself, which routes, which port of calls, everything they must record it. Marine casualty investigation. This is about marine fatalities. Any accidents or any untoward events that lead to fatalities, lead to somebody die, crew die. Casualty among the crew or affecting the ship itself. Salvage and rescue are SARS. Salvage and rescue or search and rescue. Some say salvage and rescue, some say search and rescue. Okay, search and rescue meaning that you don't find, you didn't, you're still looking for the accidents. You're still looking where to locate the accidents, the place. Once you found it, it's changed to, it's also SARS, but the meaning is salvage, helping, saving pula. Faham tak? Initial SARS is to observe and to locate the accidents. Then SARS, second one is to salvage and rescue. Right? So salvage and rescue is important during accidents, during catastrophe, during disaster. So how you procedures or SOP for that, they also have. What is the point to be taken into account during SARS, so you know what to do. So why is this important? So that you won't left out any process that are very important for SARS. Why you need to documented all the measurement of safety, navigation, and safety of the ship and crew? Because to avoid any mistakes, and also anything that you shouldn't left behind, or you overlook, right? Because it's dangerous to overlook for such activities. Maybe it will affect people's life. Maybe it will affect bigger catastrophe. Because if you keep on monitoring it well, you maybe can avoid other catastrophe that bigger. Okay, so that's why it's important to have a SOP or measurement on SARS, right? And any other matters directly affecting maritime safety. So this committee, any untoward events that related to safety of the ships and the crew, they must take note, and they must improve, keep on improving. They must keep on improving as far as there's still accident happen. They must keep improving. If accident happen, they must keep on improving until one day there is no accident happen. That one is ridiculous juga, faham tak? They must happen juga. I don't know why, but things like that, because no such thing as 100% safe. That's one thing. No such thing as 100% safe. There must be 0.1% or 0.01 or 1% allocation for paid. Paid. Maksudnya you must work towards safety, but you cannot guarantee. If you work so hard, also you cannot guarantee that you will achieve 100% safety. There is 1% luck there. If you're lucky, you're okay. If not lucky, because of the 0.01% of all, you die. Right? This same for any vehicles that you're using, right? That's why when you use any vehicle, mode of transportation, what is the main thing that you wish to God is, let me safely arrive to my destination. That's all. No matter what kind of transportation you use, a Mercedes Benz ke, luxury ke, what kancil ke, no point of using all these luxury vehicles or luxury operation or services, but at the end of the day, you never reach your destination. You die along the way. No use, right? But the most important thing is that you reach your destination safely and alive. And furthermore, the best thing is you live in style. Maksudnya with luxury lah. That one is better lah kan. But although it's luxury or modern high-tech vehicles, but that one doesn't guarantee you reach your destination in one piece, right? So be careful. When you ride any vehicles, don't say that 100% safe. No. Right? So 1% is there. That is luck. And that is why you need to remember your God always. And right. The next one is Marine Environment Protection Committee, MEPC. This talking about environment. There's no maritime safety. This environment. They focus on environment. Maritime safety is totally on shipping on shipping. This is marine environment, meaning that all the marine affecting all the marine industry all the marine stakeholders, not only ship. Consists of all member states sama because it's important to protect the environment. So all member states must be the committees or the members of this committee. Is empowered to consider any matter within the scope of organizations concerning prevention and control of pollution from ships. IMO ni involve maritime, but this committee taking care about the marine environment because maritime shipping affect the marine environment greatly because the amount of ships using the sea each seconds is a lot. Not each hour, each second. Like today, 1 second you can see how many ships moving on the sea per second. It's around I think 60,000 ships per second using the ship now. And there's a website you can monitor in real time the movement of the ships. Later I show you one apps whereby being used. You can know the ship name. You can know what kind of ships they are using your waters, your country waters now. The category of ships, fishing ship ke, container ships ke, commercial ships ke, cruise ke, you can know from the satellite punya data, the image, how fast they're moving, what are they doing now, are they anchoring or are they moving? You can know that this is technology, real-time technology, right? Okay, so this committee is about prevention and control of pollutions. There's one convention that related to this committee is MAPOL, marine pollution, marine pollution, so control of marine pollution. In particular, it's concerned with the adoption and amendment of conventions, adoptions and amendment of conventions, the MAPOL conventions, right? And other regulation and measures to ensure their enforcement. So, talking about sustainability of our world is not a small matter anymore. It's a big issue, and all stakeholders of the environment, of the world environment, need to address this issue and need to really expedite the efforts towards that. Understand? You can see now the impact of the greenhouse impact. The ice of the North Pole and South Pole is melting. You must remember when you talk about environment, it's a cycle. The whole process is a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Why you call it vicious? Satu pusingan yang kejam. Kerana impact dia tu is negative. It's great today to the world. Why you said ice melting is bad? Because when ice melting, the water level of the sea will go up, meaning that there are many waters on the sea is increased. Then what happened? The clouds, this water will evaporate because of the heat, will evaporate, and the cloud will absorb it. So the cloud is getting heavy with moist, with water, right? And then that's why when heavy rains come, the unprecedented amount of rainfall happens. For example, in Udulangan, in Selangor, last 2 weeks, the rainfall is equivalent to 1 month rainfalls in 1 day. Just imagine the amount. And this water going down from the cloud to the earth, and then they sum up in the river, right? So the amount is great, and the water river increase and increase beyond the borders of the river. Then what happened? Flooding, right? And the increase is great. Why? Because the river water level is increasing until the flooding also affect to the people. The water level of flooding also getting higher and higher. Never before that the water flooding go up until the roof of the houses. It's crazy. It's very dangerous. It's very crazy. So you can see the magnitude of the effect of the flooding. You can see in the videos in the social media is tremendous. It's very scary though, right? When you see. You just imagine how they going through the process, the victims. during the water level is getting higher and higher, higher until their roof. So where they want to go? They must sit at the roof, right? Sitting on the roof for 12 hours, for 2 days, 1 day, no food. They have the right to scold the government or to get angry because of they don't get supply, don't get help. They have the right to get angry, right? What we see, this is the effect of what the pollution, so the environment degradations, environment degradations is going down. The environment punya protection, contribute now the people are contributing more on the carbon footprint. So when the carbon footprint is increased, the whole world is getting warmer and warmer and melting the ice, and the when ice melting and they will change the weather systems. It's unpredictable, right? So these are the things that affect due to the environment. That's why IMO is serious on dealing with this. That's why they already go for IMO 2020, whereby to reduce the impact of the emissions, pollution from ships to the environment. No doubt that the study shows that the road transport emissions maybe is higher than the emissions from shipping, but shipping contributes more toxic gases, toxic emissions, more toxic and more harmful to the environment as compared to vehicles, compared to road, because of the bunker type of the ship, uh, the bunker type of the ships. But nowadays, with IMO suggestions and requirements, more ships are changing to more biofuel, and also if they don't use biofuel, it's because expensive, because they need to do many investment to prepare for the engines, to change the engine whatever. They can put a filter, right? Filter technology to the emission that they release. So those emission need to go to a process of filtering the emission to reduce the harmful impact of to the environment, to reduce the toxicity of the emissions that will affect or harm the environment. So they use filter before they release it out. So that one also one thing that really helps the environment, right? That one required by also IMO. But I think in 2027, I think they will make it mandatory all to use biofuel, ataupun change to other fuel. What the other alternative is hydrogen fuel, methane, polypropylene, apa nama ni, liquid LNG, LPG, right? So more bio punya bunker. Right, these are the subcommittee for the 5 committees. There's a lot, human element training and watchkeeping, implementation of IMO instruments, navigation, communication, search and rescue, pollution protection and response, ship design and constructions, ship system and equipment, carriage of cargoes and containers. So the subcommittee of the 5 committees of the MSC and MBC, they are very specific on issues. They're very focused. So there should be many committees coming up based on the event that happens. Okay. Then legal committees, like I told you before, legal committee established due to the aftermath of Torrey Canyon disaster. So if you type Google, Torrey Canyon disaster is about a disaster that affect the ship, that affect the environment. Whereby Torrey Canyon is the first, I think, oil spill disaster that were very big area, right, in UK, in the southern of UK, right. So if you go through the Google Puerto Rican, they will explain to you the magnitude of the oil spill, but that one is beyond comparable with the new Exxon Mobil oil spill in 80s, I think. That one is bigger. So the disasters happen. Sometimes it's getting bigger and bigger. So it shows that the authorities need to be more vigilant and more detailed in terms of the measurement taken for safety. So that's why there's many subcommittee exist to clarify or to focus on the issue. All right. So this legal committee is about dealing with litigations ataupun legal matters within the scope of organizations. So they will advise the stakeholders involved in the disaster in a disaster, right? For example, like Torrey Canyon, so the disaster oil spill affect large area, so it affect beaches, it affect the life the what daily life of fishermen, right? So all these people earn their living from the sea, right? Beaches is through hotels. Hotels lost their clients because the beaches is dirty with oil, right? So they want to survive. So how? Because the beaches are dirty. Nobody want to come and stay at the hotel. Affect them. So they can sue the company. The company should what they call compensate on that matter. Same also for fishermen, right? For fishing village, whereby they should go out and fishing and to earn a living, but they cannot do that because most of the seawater there around the area is full with oil. So they need to have to be compensated. So how to do that? So this legal committee will help them to go for it, and also will help the ships, the owner of the ships to deal with it, right? So this is the purpose of the legal committee lah. It was established in 1967. Legal question arose in the aftermath of Torrey Canyon. You can check Torrey Canyon case in Google. The other one is technical cooperation committees. This one is corporations in terms of kerjasama, corporations committee in terms of some countries, some member states they are well versed in high technology of shipping, right? Either shipbuilding, ship constructions, ship design, ataupun system to manning the ships, navigation the ships. So cooperation between members for the benefit for all is important. So they can cooperate for under this technical cooperation committees. Facilitation committee consists of member states of organizations that deal with IMO work in eliminating unnecessary formalities and red tape. So for the name of the committee itself is about to facilitate, memudahkan. Facilitate is memudahkan. Bahasa Melayu komiti memudahkan. Tak kena kan? Komiti mudah cara. Kan? Tapi in English is facilitation. So this committee help to eliminate any unnecessary formalities or red tapes. Red tapes, bureaucratic. Red tapes ni bureaucratic procedures that make the whole system slower and ineffective and inefficient. So dia melambatkan semua. Jadi this committee try to eliminate, buangkan mana-mana procedures or yang lead to red tapes, bureaucratic procedures ke yang melambat yang will lead to ineffective functioning of the committee and also of the organizations, right? Okay. So dia ada Convention on Facilitation of International Maritime Traffic. Facilitation of International Maritime Traffic 1965. Dah lama way back before you're born or I born. Any matter within the scope of organization concerned with the facilitation So when you talk about international maritime, definitely you will talk about cooperation between countries, so international borders. We talk about international borders. So different borders, different requirements, different rules and laws. So in order to expedite the whole journey or process of navigation on a ship, you need this kind of committee to expedite the process, right? The journey process of the ships, the navigation process. So you need to cooperate between members, country, right, to facilitate the movement of ship, right? So that's why we have regulations for certain countries are much like the same on shipping, on international shipping and also on local shipping, coastal shipping, right? So coastal shipping usually they tend to adopt cabotage policy to protect the industry, to protect the local players, right? For international, they use the IMO committee lah, facilitation committee. Okay. Checking time, apa dah? You tidur ke, you dengar ni? Ada question? Ain Syafika. Ain Syafika ni. Ain Syafika. Okay. Ain,
Yes, sir.
tidur ke?
Tak adalah.
Bagus. Badriatul Syahira.
Yes,
Ain faham tak, Ain?
Faham.
Badriatul,
Faham, sir.
faham tak?
Faham.
Betul. Bagus. Faham bagus. Chan Zi Yuang. Chan Yi Yuang. Chan Yi Yuang. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You understand? If you don't understand, you can ask, which part that you don't understand.
Okay.
Because actually it's straightforward, Po Kwan.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Where's Po
Yes,
Kwan?
doctor.
You understand?
Okay.
Good. Iqbal. Iqbal Zaini.
Yes, sir.
Bila nak buat report ni?
On the way, sir. Tengah-tengah siapkan.
Buat. Jangan tak betul, jangan tak betul, tak dapat full. Dia
Yes, sir.
ada group talk just now, yesterday, also a good talk, a good preparation, well done, full mark if you provide the report lah, good report lah. Make sure all members of the team, you all must make sure that your name inside the report. Tak ada name in the report, tak ada markah for you. Jangan harapkan ketua saja untuk apa? Untuk bagi nama. You as the members, you kena check balik all the report. Okay, ada nama you tak? Tak ada nama, tak ada markah. Okay. Because saya tak sempat nak tanya dah masa tu you, apa nama ni? Dah habis kelas and then markah nak isi. So maybe kalau nama you tak ada, saya terlupa kosong lah. So make sure you all members of the team check. Before the leader submit me the report, check. There's your name or not in the report. Alright? 10 markah. 10 markah ya? 10 markah tu 10 ke 15 je lah. Right? Tak ada tu rugi lah kan? Good. Yesterday punya group also bagus. Prepare good presentation by the speaker, right speaker, related speaker, and also the whole process of the talk is well organized, and the poster also good. Register with the club if not trend Iqbal register dengan IB kan?
Yes, sir. Betul, sir.
So you get merit and also you get marks so that's one good lah. The last group ni macam mana tak tahu Ada satu lagi group kan nak pergi talk kan. So hopefully you all can done better than before Alright. Okay. Nol Zukrina. Ada Nol Zukrina.
Ya ada doktor, ya ada.
Faham tak?
Faham.
Tadi IMO tadi. Faham?
Faham doktor.
Nur Nabila. Nabiha.
Ada doktor, ada.
Okay. NP. Lee MP.
Yes, doktor.
Good. Tafa. Where's Tafa?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I understand. And also I record it.
Good.
The interchange if I
Your
want
name is
further.
Tafa, with a comma,
Yes.
Oh, okay. You understand the whole thing? IMO until now?
Yes.
Good.
Maybe if I forget about something, I can just replay the recorded because I record it
Oh,
manually.
you got it. All right. Then I got it.
Yeah.
This is good, all right. Yuan Rui.
Yes, sir.
Okay, understand?
Yeah, understand.
Good. Sobana.
Yes, sir.
Understand, Sobana?
Yes, sir. Understood.
One Roseni. One Roseni ada? One tak ada, sibuk buat
Ada.
Okay. Apa faham tak ni?
Macam mana?
Faham tak?
Faham. Dengar je ni.
Bagus. Awak buat apa-apa pun dengar lah, jangan tak dengar. Okay. Roslinda. Ada Roslinda?
Ada sir.
Slow je, tidur ke?
Tak.
Ah.
Guna phone sir.
Okay. So, we continue. So I have to check random check like this so that you're not sleeping. Okay, if you sleep, I don't know also, right? But at least when I call your name, you'll be alert. Alright? Okay, so the next one is the instrument, the flight instrument for IMO. So the structure IMO is given to you just now and yesterday on Sunday. Assembly, councils, and also the committee. Okay, now how they want to execute their authorities, their management, their procedures is by using these five instruments. First one is by using the conventions, and then the protocols, and then the amendments, and then recommendations, codes, and the guidelines, and resolutions. So these are the five instruments that have been used by IMO to enforce ataupun to put forward their concerns, their procedures, their regulations by using convention, protocols, amendments, and recommendations and resolutions. So convention is the top one, the most prominent one, conventions. Right. There are many conventions under IMO because you just imagine IMO established in beginning in 1948 after the Second World War, right? So until today, so it's long years. Definitely, there's many conventions involved. All these things, conventions, protocols, amendments, codes, and guidelines and resolutions, all are for the sake of to ensure the safety, security and safety of the ships, the crew, the cargoes, and the most important things to the environment. So there's many conventions helping them to achieve that. So what is a convention? Convention is a written agreement with several parts. Agreement with several parts, meaning that the detail the convention consists of many parts. A written agreement that all members agreed about this. So under convention, there's many annexes. Convention form a major part of maritime affairs governed by IMO. So like I told just now, is the most important part, the ultimate part of IMO instrument. Some of the major conventions by IMO are this one is a common one, usually mentioned in the media. Okay, usually mentioned in the media that so this convention is more prominent than other convention because it usually been said in the media. For example, like SOLAS. SOLAS is save of soul, save of life at sea, right? In 1974 conventions. And also yang frequently mentioned in the media is MAPOL, marine pollution. Marine pollution, convention on marine pollution. So the whole statement of convention is international conventions for prevention of pollutions, international conventions for safety of life at sea, because internationally been agreed upon. Faham tak? Convention. So many state members of the IMO agreed upon this. Okay. Any question? SOLAS, save of life at sea. What is SOS? You pernah dengar tak SOS? Have you heard about SOS? Nah, dengar SOS. What do you mean by SOS?
Help.
SOLAS tahu kan? SOLAS, you know, just now I mentioned to you. But what is SOS? Sauce. Sauce tomato. Indonesia, what is sauce? Usually when do you...
Save our... Actually, it's regarding safety, but I'm already forgot the term.
Dafa is true. Save, not save our ship, save our souls. Usually when you do, you have a critical situation whereby an accident happen or crash happen or a disaster happen. In order to save people on the board of the ship or aircraft, they give out a signal of SOS signal or Mayday signal. Mayday kan. Some they put an SOS signal, save our soul. This signal is unilaterally agreed upon in the world. If they have this SOS signal, anybody that is near to this craft ship, compulsory to go and help. Faham tak? Bukan ada pilihan, compulsory. Because a soul is in dire, a soul is in dire condition or dire situation to be helped. Dire, D-I-R-E, dire. Maksudnya terdesak kan, ataupun in need of help lah. Right? So if you send out the signal SOS or a radio mention Mayday, or a signal satellite signal on SOS. So any ships that the nearest from you, any ship, fishing ship ke, leisure ship ke, private yacht ke, kan, ataupun aircraft pun kan, yang dekat dengan awak wajib membantu. Faham tak? Because melibatkan nyawa, ada nyawa yang akan terkorban kalau terlambat membantu kan. If you're late in helping, they will be or maybe they will have life losses. So that's why they need to help immediately whoever close to them before the formal ataupun the real help come in. So you need to help them. Okay. That is SOS. Ini SOLAS. Okay. Our life at sea. Sama je SOS juga kan, tapi dia lebih luas coverage. More wide scope of coverage for SOLAS. Okay. It is to note that convention generally have several subparts which would describe in detail various aspects of the subject defined in the particular conventions. For example, if for SOLAS, there's many index annexes and many parts attached with, right? If MAPOL, many annexes attached with. These annexes will go detail, right, on the aspect that you need to address, right? For example, MAPOL convention has 6 parts, which known as annexes. Dia punya part tu known as annexes. Annex number 3 tentang apa? Faham tak? Tentang jenis-jenis yang mencemarkan alam. The types of chemicals atau emissions. Remember, chemical and emission is different. Chemical is the freight atau cargo that they are carrying. So this cargo is dangerous. Which to be categorized as dangerous to the environment, right? They list down everything detail, right? Apa nama ni? Annexes for apa nama dangerous cargo, annexes for which will affect the environment kan? Annexes for apa nama ni? How to handle type of cargos, right? Okay, so it's important for you to know because the type of cargo you carry sometimes have different effect when they have been dealt it wrongly. Okay, some cargos they are open to disaster if you don't treat them properly. Meaning that this kind of chemical that you carry cannot what do you call it? For example, they cannot be shaking, move around. If they move around, it tend to explode, or they move around, they berkocak kan, they move around the chemical, they will release odor ataupun dangerous, poisonous odor, right? This odor will slip through and they will kill people. That's why you need to do the nature of the cargo itself, the nature of the chemical you carry, the nature of the cargo you carry. For example, bauxite is minerals, and they can be poisonous, they can be dangerous, right? Bauxite ni perangai ni dia tak boleh panas sangat, faham tak? Dia akan cair, kan? Dia akan cair. So that's why you need to be careful in terms of filling your tank, your ship with certain kind of minerals ataupun chemicals. You need to learn their nature, right? Bila panas sangat dia cair dan senang menghakis. Nampak? That's why ada case in China. If you still remember, last 2-3 years, there's cases of last 5 years, I think 5 years ago, cases of bauxite mining in Kuantan, in Pahang, whereby have caused many environmental problems, especially to the people living around the mining and along the way to the port, because they take the bauxite. After they mine it, they take it to the port to be transferred to China, right? It happened one case that the ship that carry the bauxite from Malaysia, from Kuantan to China, explode ke apa benda lah, dia what, terbakar ke apa, because they doesn't understand the nature of bauxite cargo tu, what is the do and don'ts for them. Dia tak tahu yang tu, faham tak? That's why after that, during the investigation, they observe the reason is that the nature of the cargo tu tak boleh panas sangat atau penuh sangat isi kan, dia akan expand and cair and can cause explosion. So we don't know, right? That's why you, as a carrier, you need to understand the nature of the cargo that you're carrying, especially when it involves raw materials, when it involves chemicals, liquid. You remember, you know about rare earth? Rare earth. Pernah dengar tak rare earth? Pernah dengar rare earth? You pernah dengar rare earth? Rare earth.
Tak pernah sir.
You pernah dengar linas? Pernah dengar linas? Orang Pahang ada orang Pahang. Tapi orang Pahang kat sini yang duduk dekat Kuantan. Pernah dengar linas? Linas is a company that manufactured rare earth. Rare earth is raw material, raw minerals. They are very radioactive. Radioactive minerals. Nature dia radioactive. Dia nature original is already radioactive. Like uranium. Uranium is a mineral but it's highly radioactive. But rare earth ni is not like uranium in your level, but still radioactive, still dangerous. Pahang, they have a factory that manufactured linas and turn it to finished product. You know what is the finished product they produce? Your LCD screen tu. Kan? LCD screen tu, your screen dalam handphone tu, screen dalam komputer tu, screen dalam laptop tu. Right, screen any screen lah. Penting tak? It's very important, but it's very dangerous. Initially, they are dangerous because they are rare earth. They are radioactive material. Understand? So how to carry them is critical. You just imagine Malaysia doesn't have rare earth, but we have a company that manufactured rare earth. Manufactured rare earth meaning that they turn the rare earth to product. Dia bukan manufacture rare earth tu. They use the rare earth to manufacture goods. Right? Malaysia ada company tu. Tapi raw material bukan from Malaysia. Raw material from Australia. Understand? But how come the company want to build a company that dealing with hazardous material, radioactive material in Malaysia, not in Australia? Why? Who knows? Who knows why? Anybody knows? All sleeping Tapi berbagai nama dah tidur lah. Cepat mau tidur.
Ada je ni sir.
Ada ingat tidur. Repeat your question. Why a company that process rare earth want to have their company based in Malaysia? By right, the raw material for the production comes from Australia. Why don't they make it in Australia? You got my question, Naja? I'm Ashikin.
Yes,
Anda panggil Anis ada?
the production cost at Australia is higher than Malaysia.
Not so right. This is affect environment, not affect cost. The issue is environment. Dia kena mendengar mapol. Why? Because Australian government doesn't allow them to have a processing factory there because it's dangerous. That rare earth been found in Australia. But Australian government doesn't want the factory to be there. Why? Because when the factory producing ataupun manufacturing the raw material, the rare earth, they will produce products, right? And products. That one is very good. But the bad thing is that they have residual. They have hasil buangan tu, residual, hasil buangan. And this hasil buangan is much more higher radioactive than the original raw material. Faham tak? That is the reason Australia tak nak. You just imagine Australia is how big compared to Malaysia. Right? Malaysia ni kecil je, macam satu daerah, macam satu daerah je pada dia lah, pada Australia, compared to Australia. Kecil sangat compare Malaysia dengan Australia. Tetapi Australia tak bagi buat kilang ni. They don't allow the factory to be built, to be processing in their own land, in their own country. But Malaysia take it. Why? Why Malaysia take it? Sedangkan Malaysia is very small. If any leakages of the residual or processing the raw material is very catastrophic to the environment in Malaysia. And looking at the size of Malaysia, if Malaysia suffers from radioactive contamination, it's worse than flooding. Why? Because flooding damage mostly the properties, but radioactive will kill the people, not the property, right? They will kill the people and also will affect generations to come. The deformity of genetic, faham tak? It will affect the deformity of genetic DNA on the person being exposed to radioactive, and it will affect generation to generations. Understand? Why we accept it? Because they offer more jobs to people. They offer jobs to people, to the rakyat. Rakyat want jobs to work and get paid. So government will say yes because of that. But the government said you need to take care about the residual properly. But now the case is silent. I don't know why. The residual before this, they buried the residual. But where they buried, we don't know. You remember case? There's case in Sarawak, in Perak during the 1980s to 1990s, right? Whereby same company, same manufacturing of rare earth. They manufacture rare earth to produce products. The company is in Perak, dekat dengan Bukit Merah. Tahu Bukit Merah? Right? What happened is that government had to stop. Why? Because this company, through the residuals, they built a big they dig a big hole, and they cemented the hole, and they put all the containers of residual, highly radioactive, in the hole, and they cover the hole. Right? What happened is that the residual, some of the residual come out from the tank and slip to the soil, slip to the cemented soil, and slip to the there's a crack in the soil, and they slip into there's a crack in the cement and slip into the soil. And this soil, after a few times, times goes by, and the slip getting more and more, and then it will affect to the rivers near the area. Understand? Affect the rivers. All right. And what happened is that people are using the rivers, and along the rivers, they got a deformed childbirth, deformed childbirth, deformed, cacat childbirth, and banyak kes leukemia. Banyak kes leukemia berlaku among newborn babies. And this make the government wonder why. So after they check out, they found out this thing. And they asked the company to repair it and then stop the productions and compensate the people that get affected. This thing happened before, you don't know, right? But it happened again. They allow again the company to be operated in Kuantan. But if things that haven't been taken care well, history will repeat itself, right? So be careful lah. Actually, there are many cases in Kuantan also, childbirth that are deformed. But still, I don't know lah. Either they black out the media, ataupun they black out the news. We don't know, right? Because one of my friends is as a doctor there in Kuantan. Keep saying that many babies that give birth in the area of the company, surrounding area, have a problem in terms of their birth, right? So this is a thing. But sometimes this story it cannot come out, right? Sensitive. So for Mapol, the mobilizations of rare earths from Australia to Kuantan, there is a question mark. You need to deal it very well according to the requirements. Because if the rare earth terbang ke udara, akan mati burung-burung. It happened in Australia. They move out the rare earth from the middle part of Australia, remote area in Australia, to the port. They use trains, trains. They use trains and they put in the coach, but they wrap it. But suddenly out of nowhere, the coach wrap because of the speed of the train, the wrap come out, right, and then some of the rare earth flow emitted to the air, right. What happened is that there are cases they found out that many birds suddenly die out of nowhere, falling down from the sky. Bila they check investigate, this incident happened because of that. So dangerous. You can check links in Kuantan. All right.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. It's already 4, sir.
Okay, so never mind. We have to finish IMO, right? Because we need to proceed at the chapters. Banyak lagi tu. Saya akan panjang cepat-cepat sikit. Nanti you baca lah. Right? Okay. Any question? Any question?